Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast, a program created to answer the question, what's in it for me, for both the business and their customers. Today's guest had this to say.
The kind of training that we deliver is usually behavioral training. So we have the pets who are making everybody miserable. The trainer will come and kind of talk to the parent about, okay, what are you seeing that you would like to have different? What are the milestones that you can reasonably expect that your dog will hit, and how long do we think it'll take? And this is what it's going to require on your part to achieve this little miniature transformation.
Now, stay tuned as we hear more on their values, mission, and why they continue to grow their business. Joining me today on the Growing Your Business podcast is Cathy Davis with Backyard Pet Services. Cathy, thank you for joining me in the studio.
So excited.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's talk about the services you offer your customers. What do you got going on?
Okay. We are a company that provides different kinds of pet services to pet parents. Usually it's somebody who's in an anxious situation and has some anxiety for a couple reasons.
Sure.
So they could be traveling and they need a good solution to care for their pet while they personally cannot do it. So they're anxious about that. It could be a person who is anxious with respect to the pet's care, not the veterinary care, but the ordinary care that you have to give a pet just to keep it well groomed. So it has to have its nails tended to. If it has certain kind of hair, that needs to be tended to in a certain way. And, from there you can go from just nice and clean to gorgeous with all the fancy haircuts. So we provide those kinds of services as well. Sometimes there would be a pet who is ill-behaved. And so the parent may have some anxiety about that or some, be uncomfortable about it. So we do services for those parents as well.
You've served enough that you know how to handle just about everybody's pet at this point. Yeah.
I would say we have. I won't say that we have seen it all, but we certainly love our pet parents and we love our pets, and we have our hands full every day.
Areas of service, as in, do they come to you? Do you meet them where they are? Tell me about how you get to the pets.
Okay, so we are a remote service provider.
Terrific.
So if the person is traveling, we come to the pet. We are a mobile grooming service, so we don't have a brick and mortar location. Instead, we have mobile grooming vans, and they come to you. This makes it easier, more convenient for you to get the services that you need. Even our trainer comes to you. We don't drag you to a training facility and make you sit in a group setting. It's very customized to the needs of the parent and the particular pet.
I imagine that's a lot easier on the pet because then they're in their home environment. It's easier on everybody, really, because then the pets where they are, the families where they are, they don't have to load the already anxious pet into a car and drive somewhere, and basically tease them that they may think they're going for a walk, right?
Yes.
And it's kind of like kids going to the dentist kind of thing.
Yeah, sometimes you have this cumulative anxiety. So the pet is very comfortable in its own familiar surroundings, and the pet parent is anxious when the pet gets anxious. And so being a remote service really, really makes it work for a lot of specific situations.
How does one get into what you're doing? I mean, you didn't wake up as a child. Well, I mean, I guess as a child you could have I want to do this my whole life. But I know we have a longer pathway to some professions.
Yeah. So so there once upon a time I was a corporate kind of girl, and so I was on the road. I had the kind of job where I was out Monday, home Thursday, and I have had pets my entire life. So over the very long career, this was 20 plus years that I was doing all this travel, I had different solutions during that time. I had a husband for a time, and I had family members, and I had I tried boarding, and I've tried all the different things. So when the day came for me when I had a conversation with myself, and the conversation went like this: I cannot get on another plane. I won't get on another plane. And then my other hand was saying, okay, fine, but what are you going to do? And so when I reflected on that, I thought about what I had seen that was a need in the marketplace, because some of my solutions worked way better than others. So having a family member care for your pet, best solution. But not everybody's in that solution. And the time came for me when I didn't have that. And so then I tried these other solutions, and they were not as good. And so over time, trying out those different ones, I was able to see to really define for myself what good looked like. And so when I left corporate, I just had this crystal clear vision of what I wanted to deliver. And at the time, it was only pet sitting services. I really wanted to be providing the care that, that somebody like myself would be needing when they're out of town, so that everything on the home front stays running smoothly while the pet parent is away and the pet parent is not worried about it. That's the service that I wanted to provide.
That's terrific. And how long have you been in business now?
This has been since November of 2018 or so. So we've crossed over the 6-year mark.
Great.
And
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Over time, we've added the service lines. So really, because of COVID, when that came along, thank you very much. Nobody needed a sitter. Nobody was going anywhere for quite some time.
Sure.
And so at the time, I had one employee, and I either had to let her go or I had to find something for her to do. And so I got on the internet. It just so happened that she had a background as a fully certified grooming. That was her background. And so I found a van for her, and we sent her across. I went across the country. This particular van was in Cape Cod. I drove it all the way back to Texas, and the next day I put up a Google ad, and that little business was born. And so the very next day, we built up a schedule for her. She had a friend. What if her friend drove the truck on the weekend? That'd be great. What if we got another truck? And then her friend could drive this other truck. And so little by little, we have six. We have 6 of those mobile grooming vans today.
Terrific.
And we added the training line of business because of what we were seeing on the grooming table. I don't know if you've seen a pet on the table that has never been groomed before, or maybe a pet that's just kind of opposed to everything or anxious about everything. But there's really only a couple of different ways that the pet parent can go in that situation. They can go straight to the vet and get some medication for the pet, or they can take a big step background and make a big commitment to the pet and work with a trainer to basically get at the root of those issues and take a long journey towards building a stronger relationship with the pet and guiding the pet out of some of those ruts that they're in. And so that's how our little training business was born.
Stay with us. The Growing Your Business podcast will return right after this. The Growing Your Business podcast is sponsored in part by Visual Learning Solutions. Stands out with its expertise in crafting immersive audio and video experiences. Their creative team has over 30 years of experience delivering dynamic internal training programs tailored to various industries. They ensure the audience receives a compelling message, promotes brand awareness, and increases return on investment. They also excel in producing marketing content. Learn more at their website, visuallearningsolutions.com. Please check our show notes for sponsorship links and additional details. Now, back to the Growing Your Business podcast with Buddy Broyles. Is there a certain breed that you prefer, size that you prefer? I know you work with so many.
Well, I personally like the little dogs, and all of my groomers have different preferences. I think some of them, we see a lot of doodles because they're just super popular right now.
Yeah.
Everybody loves them.
They're
So
fun.
we definitely see a lot of those. I would say probably the small dogs in the 10 to 25 pound are our most common pet.
Yeah.
And that is a variety of breeds. There's
Sure.
there's
So many.
There's 15 breeds that fit in there, but lots of Shih Tzus, lots of Maltese, lots of Yorkshire Terriers. Those are our little beloveds.
So from a cost versus value and a time commitment, is it a subscription-based service? Like what's a engagement like from a pet parent's perspective?
Most of our customers will, of course, it's different for the different lines of business, but I'll address the grooming business
Right,
first.
sure.
So if you have one of these pets that has the long hair and it needs to be addressed on a regular basis, the pet parent has to decide for themselves what the standard is. If it's checking the box, just good enough to keep the pet healthy, that's a frequency for that pet that would be on the longer side. If they like the pet pet to look fantastic all the time, then that's going to be a shorter frequency.
Yeah.
And obviously the budget impact is different for those two
Of course.
scenarios. But there's not really a right answer. If your pet needs to be groomed, then by all means you want to get it groomed, but you do not have to do it on our prescribed schedule, unless there are some situations where with some of those double coated and doodly type dogs, those dogs may actually be getting matted and out of control, and you, the pet parent, are oblivious to what is happening until your groomer points it out to you and like shows you the comb and gets down to the skin and says, see, this is what's happening, and then they give you a prescription on what to do so that you can solve that equation of how frequent is the best.
Right. And it's really what's important is first just have a conversation. Imagine it all starts with the conversation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so we have a customer service team that talks to the pet parents, but also the groomers will talk to the pet parent. And usually it's the groomer that tells us, I would like to see this pet again, in X number of weeks. And they give us that answer because they've already had that dialogue with the parent and they've seen how the pet's unique hair situation is, and some mat up faster than others, and for what reasons I don't understand, but the groomers certainly do.
What's the busy time of the year for you?
So grooming is pretty steady year round, and so that doesn't really have seasonality to it. But as far as the pet sitting side, you can imagine that that's quite seasonal. So holidays, we get a big bump in activity. Pretty much, we just have come out of what's our quiet season, January and February. Spring break kind of sets the stage for coming back to life. And then from there, it's one thing after another. It's Easter, it's Memorial Day, it's the 4th of July. People are having their summer vacations, and then we'll conclude with a big Labor Day. And so our sitters, we've got about 13 sitters or so at the present time. So they really stay busy for that. And then we have a little sleepy period during usually September, and then it's the holidays again. And so it goes year after year.
Give me a little more depth on the training part of your business.
Yeah, the training is not what you might think of if you want your dog to shake your hand or, do something really cool, although our trainer is certainly capable of doing that. The kind of training that we deliver is usually behavioral training. So we have the pets who have gotten themselves in trouble by being a little nippy. We have the pets who are acting out when they see humans coming down the street or other dogs coming down the street, and basically they're just making everybody miserable, including themselves.
Of course.
And so the trainer will come and kind of talk to the parent about, okay, what are you seeing that you would like to have different? Let's build a roadmap, and then while we're on this roadmap, what are the milestones that you can reasonably expect that your dog will hit, and how long do we think it'll take? And this is what it's going to require on your part, because there is homework that the pet parent has to put in there in order to achieve this little miniature transformation for whatever kind of bad behavior we're trying to get around.
Yep. Just got minor corrections over time.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Does part of that training include puppies?
Yeah. So super common is somebody brings home a puppy and they're like, I cannot seem to get this potty training going properly, or other kinds of beginner puppy training.
Gotcha.
Kind of
So
thing.
the full gamut.
Yeah, full gamut.
That's wonderful.
Of training.
What's
services.
your favorite part about what you do?
My favorite part about what I do, well, it's not what you might think, because of my background as a consultant and in management advisory services, I really like process engineering, and so what I have learned is in being a business owner is that everything's a process, and every incident, and their little incidents every single day, is an opportunity to revisit your process and think about, why did that happen? And, what should we adjust so that doesn't happen again? And so I like to bring the people together and just have all the creative minds going about how can we take this thing that's already good and continuously make it better. I just love that, and I never tire of that process of rebuilding our processes as we have scaled and grown.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. Best way to reach you?
Best way to reach me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. So we have a business line, which is the 469-481-8900 number. And so I have folks that are looking after that line 7 days a week, about 12 to 18 hours a day, and they always have someone online there. But I'm also available to my customers as well. So some of them have been with us for a very long time, and they're reaching out to me individually. But I always say, come in through the business line, because that way I have the most number of eyes on the situation, and we're doing tracking and that kind of thing, so that nothing falls through the cracks and everybody's questions get addressed.
Excellent. So your phone number and any links you give me, I'll make sure in the show notes. So anybody listening, just scroll down. And you'll
absolutely.
See
we have a website and all those things, as you would expect.
That's terrific. Parting thoughts for someone who's looking for the three services you have. What should they consider when reaching out to you?
Well, I would think about what you are looking for. So when I founded the company, service excellence, flexibility, and kindness were the cornerstones of our business. And so when I am selecting a provider for anything, those are very important to me. So if I was making a choice like that, I would be looking for what service provider has values that are in alignment with mine, and has created a plan that matches what it is that I'm looking for. And then other differentiators as well will play into the mix. But yeah, you definitely want someone who is serious about what they're doing and really committed to giving outstanding care.
Well, Cathy, thank you for coming into the studio today and talking about your business.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here and delight.
Thank you for joining us today on the Growing Your Business podcast. Please see the show notes for links to our sponsors, our social media, and to learn more about today's guest.